It finishes then, Girona 2, Barcelona 1, and for the first time at the end of a match day in 85 days, it is Real Madrid who are top of the table, 2 clear of Hansi Flick's side. For more on this, let's welcome in Luis Garcia joins us. We'll be hearing from Luis in a moment. But Ali, there is absolutely no argument you can put up that Barcelona deserved anything more today.
No, and I suppose you can point to the penalty kick missed by Lamine Yamal and say that could have changed the game. It could have changed the feeling of Girona going into halftime because they had chances, and it would have been the same story that they have had over the course of the season, in which they create chances, don't score goals, somebody else scores, and now here we go. The feeling of Girona and the Girona fans and Girona players may have changed. If you put that to the side and you just evaluate and analyze the second half of play, in fact, the whole 90 minutes, Girona, on balance, were better than Barcelona. Now, I know Barcelona fans are going to say, but we created chances. Well, we missed a penalty. We had this opportunity. We had that opportunity. Well, that's also ignoring that Girona had opportunities everywhere. And with just a tiny bit better execution in the final third, they scored 3, 4, 5 goals. If we had to pick who the best player today was for Barcelona, I don't think there's any doubt that we say Joan Garcia. He gave up 2 goals, and yet he continues to be the best player on the field. That tells you everything that you need to know about the performance of Barcelona today and the performance of Girona for that matter. Give them some credit. But to your point, Dan, this was well deserved by Girona. This was not an accident. This was not a coincidence. Girona deserved to win this game. Barcelona deserved to lose it.
Speaking ahead of this game, we heard Hansi Flick, Luis, saying, hey, the Atletico Madrid, that doesn't define our season, that defeat midweek. Problem is now we've got back-to-back defeats in which neither of them, you can argue, Barcelona deserved anything from.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. That's a big concern. When you go on the field and you see that Barcelona today, once again, no, it's that they dominated, it's that didn't have the control. For me, when you try to make and during a whole season, you try to bring the high line where you try to be dominating in the games, having the ball, having the possession and creating chances. First thing that you have to have is the control of the game. And today, once again, they didn't control at all. Every single time that Girona was on the ball, it was unstoppable. They found the spaces, they found the gaps always to combine and to create a chance. It's true that in the last third, they were not capitalizing all of them, but definitely they were a little bit more accurate on taking a bit more composed to have the right decisions. This game could have been 5-6 goals easily for Girona, because in the first 45 we saw 3 easy ones, and in the second one exactly the same. So in the end, Barcelona got what they deserve. They tried, yeah, they create, yes, but they make so many mistakes. In one of those second chance goals, you can see the high line, and we complain about the high line, but it's not the problem of the high line. The problem is that when Valde receives the ball, gives the ball away quite easily, and then, of course, everyone is out of position. Transition again, and problem for Barcelona. And that's been the whole issue the whole season. When you are not on, the ball is not under pressure, Barcelona cannot keep that continued high line. Or you track back, or once again, you're going to have face-to-face against the keeper.
Kieran, I thought it was interesting. You don't watch much LaLiga, but you were saying to me, how is this team second in the league?
I mean, from a neutral point of view, they're highly entertaining to watch. And listen, I don't think Hansi Flick is under the illusion that playing that way, they're not going to concede goals. I think that the idea is that, you know, we've got the best players offensively, so we will outscore you. The problem is, when you're not firing offensively, and you defend like this, more often than not, you're not going to pick up points. So, you know, whilst they're entertaining to watch, I think if you're a Barcelona fan, you've got to be concerned watching the last 2 games, especially as you're coming into such an important part of the season. I mean, I hope I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but it really does look like a bit of a circus at the back sometimes. And yeah, it was just surprising to see. I mean, they didn't even really have to do that much to get into Barcelona's final third sometimes. And yeah, I just thought it was really surprising the lack of leadership, intent, and willingness to want to defend. It just felt like, you know, they would want to just get involved in a last-ditch tackle to try and stop them from scoring in the last second. But leading up to all of those moments, it just feels too easy.
So many chances for Girona.
Well, I think Hansi Flick's philosophy is just total risk and reward. We're better than you. We're going to squeeze the pitch. We're going to play a high line because we're going to try and be aggressive. We're going to put you under pressure. As the boys have said, and as Kieran said there, they've got talented players that can, on their day, hit anyone for a big number. But if you're tactically smart and you do your homework against Barca, you survive that and you realise that if you get wide runners or midfield runners to go in behind the back line with no pressure on the ball, you get so much joy. And Girona done that from probably 5 minutes in. To Ali's point, if the pass selection or a little bit more intelligent play or the right pass just before the assist of the goal, they could have run up 4 or 5. They were that good against the Barca side, who were nowhere near it today.
Where do you stand on the foul that obviously the Barcelona wanted in what proved to be the winner on Koundé, Luis?
Again, we're going to go to the details, but I think it's a fault. I think that the player arrived late and he taps on Koundé. When you receive a tackle like this one, it's true that the intention is to play the ball. It's true that plays the ball, but it taps on Koundé's ankle or feet, and when you tap someone, it's a foul. It doesn't have to do if you touch the ball or not touch the ball. So I think the issue that be, if you don't see the first one, you go to the replay or you go to the VAR. But as you can see, it's a big tap on the ankle of Koundé.
Don?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from the referee's point and the VAR point is you don't want to micromanage games, do you? You don't want to be constantly micromanaging every single tackle or every single collision. There's 22 players on the pitch. I understand Hansi Flick's frustration. I thought in real time the referee called it correct, but when you see the slow-mo, you see the contact and you go, maybe Girona got a little bit lucky on that one.
Well, let's assume, okay, there's contact, you can call the foul, you may not call the foul. If you're Jules Koundé and the foul is not given, it's your responsibility as a defender to get up. And if he gets up and carries on playing, Fran Beltran has to get around Koundé, who's laying on the ground, to actually get a hold of the ball, cut the ball across, and then hit the shot on target. If Jules Koundé doesn't hear the whistle, you get up and you keep playing.
Or even his teammates, Ali.
Well,
even his teammates react.
Well, all I'm suggesting is that Fran Beltran had to go around Jules Koundé. So if he just stands up, the ball comes to him, and there is no danger. And so in that sense, I think to say that it's a foul, we are giving a break to Jules Koundé as well in terms of the follow-up. Okay, the whistle didn't happen, get up and play.
Maybe he really hurt himself.
Oh, well, I don't think so. And in terms of what you were saying there, Kieran, you're not exaggerating when you say this is a bit of a circus defensively. It's a 3-ring circus. It's a full tent of a circus with animals and magicians and clowns and everything. Everything.
It's called a big top.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, it is every bit of a circus defensively. And what's really surprising, not that it is a circus defensively, is that you just got assaulted. You just got dominated and humiliated by Atletico Madrid. And so you would assume, if you're a big team, if you're an elite team, and we assume that Barcelona are an elite team in Europe and a big team in Europe, that there would have been a reaction. It's the first thing that you asked me today in the Spanish translation that you almost got right.
Yep.
Came up a little short, but you almost got right.
Gracias.
De nada. Look, there was going to be a reaction. Did this look like a reaction? Did this look like a team that was pressing the ball together, that was winning the ball and higher up the field, that was controlling the match? We highlighted previous to the game. This midfield, yes, you got Dani Olmo. Yes, you have Fermin Lopez, but they're going to be in advanced position. So that means that Frenkie de Jong has to cover a lot of ground. He was getting mismatched in terms of numbers in the midfield. So it became Girona controlling the transition moments. It became Girona controlling the match going forward. It became Girona creating the opportunities. This was not a reaction, certainly not what they were looking for, and it's yet more disappointing for Barcelona, especially when you consider what happened against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, massive result for Girona, by the way, who get themselves a little bit of breathing room between them and the relegation zone. Meanwhile, at the top of the table, for the first time, I've no doubt, this calendar year, Real Madrid are favourites to win La Liga 6-4 on. Barcelona coming in now at 11-10. Wow, Luis, who'd have thought we'd be in this stage when Xavi Alonso got sacked, when everything that's been going on in Madrid this season, yet it's Real Madrid who sit top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And much more what we saw on the field, the performances of Real Madrid didn't give us a clue that they could be at this stage at the top of the table. But it's Real Madrid, and you know when they can spirit, that back spirit of the jersey, of the background, the Juanitos and the stadium, they can do that. We've seen it so many times. And at the moment, they are getting the results. Maybe getting closer to what we can expect from Real Madrid. We saw a very good Real Madrid the other day, at least for many minutes. We saw the players understanding each other. We saw the movement. We saw the dynamism. And we saw a better Real Madrid what we've seen in the last maybe 2 or 3 months. But the results were still there. And that's what something that we cannot say about Barcelona, that is still not finding that consistency. So, yeah, it's a big surprise, but we have to give credit to Arbeloa, who managed in some way to give that confidence back to the players, and the players understand the message. And right now, they look strong and at the top of the table.
Luis will say Barcelona. You'll say Barcelona still to win La Liga, though, Luis?
I think that they, yes, I think that they got a lot more to offer and a lot more arguments to win La Liga. But, well, Real Madrid is always going to be there.
Who on earth are you going to pick? This is tricky. This is really 50-50.
Well, it is. And while we see Real Madrid first right now, I would suggest stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because as bad as Barcelona was defensively today, and as they were against Atletico Madrid, you can argue that Real Madrid have their own issues, their own concerns. There is a reason as to why Xabi Alonso is no longer the manager. It's not because this team was close to perfect and was thriving. No, far from it. They have concerns too. They have structural issues. They have organization issues. They give up goals too. I believe I picked Barcelona to begin with.
Right.
And because I'm stubborn, I'm going still with Barcelona. But this is no sense of belief whatsoever in either one of these teams, because what makes them entertaining is because they are very flawed.
Barcelona, of course, have got the midweek off now, which is rare for them, given they, of course, finished in the top 8, meaning they advanced to the next round of the Champions League. Real Madrid involved in these play-in games. They're taking on Benfica.